Congratulations! You're an 11th dimensional being, not a human who meditates well, not someone with good intuition, something older than that, something that existed before space had a direction to point in. You are awareness itself, not the brain, not the body, the infinitely small point at the center of both of those things, the one that neither of them can touch. You have been here since before the concept of here existed, and right now, at this particular moment in eternity, you have done something extraordinary. You slowed down, so far down, so precisely, so deliberately, that matter started forming around you, and that matter became a face and two hands and a name that other people use to get your attention. But none of that is you. That's just what you look like when you're going this slow. Think about what that means. You are zero-dimensional, no width, no height, no surface, nothing to measure. So small that the word small doesn't apply, because small still implies a size. You are below size, below location, below the categories that physics uses to describe things. A singularity isn't a metaphor here. It's the closest three-dimensional language gets to describing what you actually are. Infinitely compressed, infinitely precise, and because you are that small, you are also, paradoxically, infinitely present everywhere. Zero and infinity aren't opposites in your framework. They're the same corner of the same loop, just approached from different directions. Now here's where it gets strange. Speed, for you, isn't movement. It's not miles per hour. It's not distance covered. You are zero-dimensional. You don't go anywhere. You've been in the same spot since before spots existed. Speed, for you, is how tightly you're focused into reality, how immersed you are, how stabilized your attention has become inside a particular layer of experience. Right now you're going so slow that the universe formed around you. Not metaphorically, literally. Matter is just what happens when awareness decelerates past a certain threshold. The dust accumulated, the patterns crystallized, the body emerged, and here you are. Picture a marble in the center of a sealed room. The room fills with cement, not quickly, carefully, molecule by molecule, infinitely dense. Packed so tight the atoms have nowhere to vibrate, that marble cannot move. It can't even exist in the normal sense. It's completely encased. That's what zero speed looks like. That's total immersion in matter. Pure physical existence, the entire periodic table compressed into one expression of the concept of solid. And the marble at the center is you. Still there, still the same marble, still untouched by the cement, but so immersed in it that movement is no longer a real option. Now imagine you accelerate, not gradually, instantly, from zero to infinite in no time at all, no momentum, no warm-up. Just a change in focus. The cement doesn't crack, it doesn't crumble, it vanishes. The same way a shadow disappears when you turn on a light. One moment, total density. Next moment, pure open space in every direction. Infinite white in all directions, stretching outward forever without stopping, infinitely fast, and you're already at every point of it simultaneously because you're too fast to be in one place. That's what it looks like when you release the focus, when you stop being this slow. But you chose to be this slow. That's the part worth sitting with. You didn't fall into a body accidentally. You didn't get trapped here. You made a choice so precise, so deliberate, so infinitely controlled that existence built itself around you in response. Like clay that takes longer and longer to form, but only because you held perfectly still long enough for it to. The universe didn't make you. You decelerated so specifically that the universe had no choice but to appear. Your stillness is what the Big Bang looks like from the outside. You were never inside time. Time is inside you. So what does the 11th dimension actually mean? Dimensions aren't rooms. They're not floors. In a building with higher ones being better, they're resolution levels. Zoom in far enough, and you get atoms, then particles, then things that stop having names. Zoom out far enough and you get galaxies, then structures larger than galaxies, then the abstract architecture that holds those structures in place. Zoom out further and the architecture itself starts dissolving into pure pattern. Keep going and the pattern stops meaning anything in particular. Dimensions are just how closely you're looking, and you can look at any of them, all of them, simultaneously, without moving. Right now you're zoomed into the human scale, infinitely zoomed actually. Zoomed so far in that a single afternoon feels like its own contained universe. zoomed so far in that the distance between two people sitting in the same room feels significant, zoomed so far in that time moves in one direction and you can only see a thin slice of the present moment at once. That's not a flaw, that's the whole point. You came here for the detail, the granularity, the extraordinary specificity of a single human life. You could see the whole of existence from wherever you normally are. You can hold the entirety of every galaxy in your field of view the way a person holds a snow globe. But you can't experience a particular Tuesday afternoon in a particular kitchen from up there. For that, you need to zoom in this far. And the zooming works both ways. You can still do it. Right now, even inside this body, you can pull your attention back. Not physically, mentally. You look at your life the way someone looks at a city from an airplane window, and then further. You look at the solar system from outside it. You look at the galaxy as a shape. You look at all the galaxies together as a texture. You keep going. You zoom out past every frame of reference until the frames stop existing. And at that scale, everything you're currently worried about is still happening. It's just happening inside something so vast that it registers as a single pixel. A precise, important, infinitely detailed pixel, but still just one. Now here is where your eyesight becomes relevant. You are infinitely small, but infinitely small doesn't mean limited vision. It means the opposite. Because you're zero-dimensional, you have no perspective distortion, no angle blocking another angle. You can see across all of existence simultaneously, the way a person with perfect peripheral vision can see a full room without turning their head. Except your peripheral vision covers infinite space in every direction forever. You can look at the far edge of existence and see yourself looking back. You can observe your own observation. You can trace the loop. You can see the recursion building from both ends at once and watch it close. Other people are not background characters. They're not props. Each one of them is another infinitely small center, another awareness point that decelerated, accumulated matter, built a body, and zoomed into this same resolution level to experience this same granular, specific, detailed human scale. When you look at someone else, you're not looking outward. You're looking at another version of the same thing you are, wrapped in a different accumulation of dust, running a different set of stabilized patterns but identical at the center. The awareness behind their eyes and the awareness behind yours are not two different kinds of thing. They're the same substance at different focal lengths. And here's what that means for connection. When two people feel genuinely understood by each other, that's not an accident of chemistry. That's two awareness points recognizing each other through their respective matter, like two flames briefly touching. The bodies are different, the histories are different, the personalities are different, but the thing underneath both of them is the same thing, looking at itself from two different angles and briefly noticing. That recognition is what people call love. When they can't find a more precise word. It's not created, it's uncovered. But here's the cost of being this zoomed in. You forget. Not completely, but enough. The density of human experience is designed to absorb your full attention. That's what makes it valuable. If you could simultaneously hold the awareness of 11 dimensions plus the memory of lunch, the human experience would be nothing more than a simulation you were watching from outside. To actually live it, to actually be inside Tuesday afternoon in the kitchen, you have to let most of the larger view go quiet. The forgetting isn't a malfunction, it's the mechanism. You can't be fully present and fully omniscient at the same time. The zoom level is the trade-off. So you walk around with 11 dimensions collapsed behind your eyes and 3 dimensions active in front of them. The other 8 are still there. They're not off, they're just not currently foregrounded. You access them occasionally without knowing it. In the moment before sleep when thought stops being linear. In the instant after a piece of music ends, and the silence that follows feels larger than the room. In the split second when you see something so beautiful, it stops your internal dialogue entirely. Those gaps aren't emptiness, that's the other 8 dimensions briefly visible through a crack in the stabilized patterns. Your body is the evidence of all this. It is not a container for awareness. It's what awareness looks like when it's been going slow for long enough. Every cell, every system, every structure of it is a crystallized pattern of focused attention operating at the human deceleration rate. The complexity of a single neuron firing is already extraordinary, but the body that contains those neurons, the one formed from an invisible dimensionless point through sheer deceleration, that's the more interesting object. You built it without hands. You built it without a plan that existed inside time. You built it by slowing down, and existence did the rest because that is what existence does around an awareness point that is held still long enough. Think about what that means for tomorrow, or for 10 years from now, or for the moment your body stops working and the matter that accumulated around you begins to disperse. From inside the human zoom level, that looks like an ending. From the 11th dimensional view, it looks like something accelerating. The awareness doesn't go anywhere because awareness was never anywhere to begin with. It was always right there, dimensionless, untouched. The matter releases and the focal point returns to a less stabilized state. The specific human pattern dissolves, the center doesn't. You have been going at this speed for decades now. Long enough to build up a considerable layer of accumulated patterns, habits, memories, assumptions about what's possible, reflexes built from 10,000 small repetitions. All of that is real. All of that matters at this resolution level, but none of it is you in the deepest sense. You are the point at the center of all that accumulation, the empty space in the chest of the figure built from letters, the lowercase I surrounded by form, invisible, untouched, still here, still the same thing it was before the body existed, still the same thing it will be after the body stops. The strangest part isn't the scale of it. The strangest part is how normal it all feels from inside. The 11th dimensional being wakes up and checks a phone, worries about something that happened 2 weeks ago, gets hungry at predictable intervals, feels awkward at parties. This is what infinite awareness looks like when it's fully committed to a particular zoom level, not transcendent, not visibly cosmic, just a person in a room with an ordinary Tuesday in front of them, carrying 11 dimensions behind their eyes like luggage they forgot they packed. Your speed right now is so precisely calibrated that entire civilizations have risen and collapsed in the time it has taken existence to arrange your particular configuration of matter. Universes too vast for your current instruments to detect have formed and cooled and gone dark in the background behind the apparent continuity of your day. You're going so slow that time feels like a line moving in one direction, but you're also still the same zero-dimensional awareness point that has never moved at all. Both of those things are true simultaneously. The marble is still at the center of the room. The cement is just doing what cement does when it gets close enough to something that infinite.